This is a Super Famicom Hotel Box. Not known to us here in Europe in the 90s, but very prominent in Japanese hotels back in the 90s when most hotel rooms actually had these in for guests to be able to sit and rent. And it was a kind of play by the hour. You could literally pay for time. You actually had to pick up one of the R12 keys here, which I will show you, and you could pay by the hour to play certain games. Now I'm going to tell you guys all about this in more details and what games mine include. But before we do that, I need to just pop in this mild disclaimer about the keys, as it's going to seriously affect what I can show you on my machine in this episode. Lots of keys came with the Super Famicom box. We have the 2 front panel keys, 1 coin box operator key and 1 master key, otherwise known as an R12 key. We'll talk more about the R12 key later in the episode. Now, I've paid a fortune for these keys. Unfortunately, the 2 front panel keys do not work, but if they did, you'd be able to access the games. Again, we'll talk more about that later in today's episode. Now, I found a copy of the manual online and it gives some detailed drawings and descriptions that you can use Japanese Translate to just get additional bits of information. You can see the coin box on the right here. I guess trying to find one of those would be incredibly difficult because until I got this machine, I never even knew it existed. So whilst my panel keys for some reason are not working, and they worked on the guy and they worked on his machine that sold them to me, for some reason they're not working on mine, but I will get them working and I will post on my Instagram when I figured out a solution on how to get this thing open, because if you pull the front panel down, it is exactly where the huge ROM cartridges go that are packed full of these games, and you can interchange the cartridges with different games as well, and they're incredibly expensive and very, very difficult to find. But I think this unit off the bat is an incredible piece of kit, and if you're a Super Nintendo fan, or even if you're just a Nintendo fan, this is something that you should be seriously paying attention to. The weight of this thing is approximately 12 kilogram. It is huge. It sits on these little risers, which just gives it that little bit of finesse. The 2 controllers sit in the house in the front, and the panel itself is very flimsy. The PSS001 is the model number, and then on the back you've got all of your kind of ports, which look very complicated if you check out the manual itself. But seriously though, this thing connects with your RCA cable, and you must use a step down converter, a really good step down converter, to be able to plug this thing in. You can get UK power mods though, but that would require you sending it away and having somebody skilled enough to be able to do so. The controller flex on these things are absolutely huge. Of course, you're able to rent these in the hotels, sit back on your bed and be able to play these things and enjoy. Again, the controllers sit in this really nice caddy which is built into the front of the machine. It looks nice and clean and it's quite spacious. If you look at where you plug this in, you can see that there's 2 controller ports right in the back, but if you compare the flex to the standard Super Famicom controller, you can see it ends here. It's incredibly short, but the Super Famicom Hotel Box just keeps on going. Let's talk games. My machine has 5 games built in across 2 ROM cartridges, the first of which is Super Mario Kart, the classic kart racing game, the first Mario Kart racing game, the best Mario Kart racing game in my opinion. And speaking of great games, we have Super Mario All-Stars. So essentially we're getting 4 games built into one here, which adds so much classic versatility to the Super Famicom Hotel Box. The third game on the first cartridge is Starwing. Yes, the Super FX chip. What a game this was back in the day, so revolutionary. But that's it for your first cartridge. But the second cartridge only has 2 games built in, and this is where it gets very interesting. The 3 games I've just shown you are on cartridge PSS61, Super Mario Kart, Star Fox and Mario All-Stars. What I'm about to show you is PSS62, but you can see we have 2 more cartridges here. This article, written in 2011, is excellent. Shortly after 2011, the PSS 6.4 cartridge was found, and you can actually see, until recently, there's only 3 cartridges known to exist, which blows my mind. We have PSS 61 and 62. As you've seen, or you will see, PSS 63 is also very difficult to get, with Donkey Kong and Super Tetris and Bombliss on. But a 4th cartridge actually includes Donkey Kong and Bomberman 2, as seen here. Pretty incredible stuff. But that's not all. In the instruction manual, you'll see the screenshots here actually depicting or indicating that PSS 6.5 cartridge existed. Now, who knows if that ever got a release, but to be able to play the likes of Pilot Wings on this machine as native sounds incredible, but instead we're sticking to PSS 6.2 cartridge with this 3D golf game that I can confirm that I'm terrible at. And I'm also pretty terrible at Super Mahjong 2, however you even pronounce it. Yeah, it's fair to say I won't be playing this one. Now, as far as my research has taken me, this game setup is probably the most common. Again, it's a shame I don't have the keys, but I would suggest you go and check out this video, which I will link below along with all the sources for even more information about this amazing device. Overall, I'm incredibly happy and I'm elated to actually own one, not to mention I recently acquired an SF1 that I'll also be making a video on. Clicking into a game will bring up this 4-point menu, which I have no idea what it says, but rest assured, I got you, because Google Translate is our friend. 1, play game, 2, explanation, 3, demo, 4 will take you back to the game menu itself. We'll click on 4, for example. A little bit of real-time stuff going on here. It takes us back to the video game menu. We can also use this button combination as well to skip out of the menu, and again it will bring us all the way back to the game menu itself. So neatly, the manual is available online. I will link it in the description, and I've just put some screenshots on so you can see the Google translations as well. You've got this nice troubleshooting section. Obviously you could send these things away to repair, but it's got a really comprehensive section after section really of what everything does, including all the key positions, which kind of blows my mind because there's actually a lot more to this device than meets the eye. And just to go that extra mile for you, additional menus include just the explanation of the games. You can dive into that. You see I've clicked number 2 and it brings up this. Again, you can use Google Translate, which is very handy. Please note that when you click 3, you can watch the demo. It comes up with additional Japanese text. So I think that's really nice. So you definitely know you're within a demo, as you can see top and bottom just there with the actual text itself. So now onto the R12 key, and there are actually 6 positions that this key can get into. This is the check play mode position, and it will literally just run a bit of a diagnostics on everything that's kind of going on with the Super Famicom Hotel Box. Thankfully, everything here is okay. You've got your timers. It is very time consuming, and I didn't record all of this because we'd be here for absolutely forever and ever and ever, but it's really good just to be able to run the diagnostics on this thing. Position 4 turns the thing off completely. Note that that is different to having it in the off position. Position 1, according to the manual, is installation mode, and there's lots of things that you can tweak in here. I didn't play around with any of this, but as you can see, this shows how many times that each game have been played. I'm guessing that the internal clock battery is completely out, as it only shows my playthroughs. I probably need to get that fixed, and I will get this fully recapped and just to kind of have a little bit of an MOT on the thing later this year. Off mode. The thing's still on. What does that actually mean? Well, what it actually means is that is the only position the R12 key can be removed. Kind of weird considering it says off, but doesn't actually turn the machine off. I need a few seconds of your time to tell you about channel memberships. If you guys want to become a channel member, click join from the main page or the second link in the description. There are 3 tiers, all with different perks for you if you want to become a team member. Thanks for your time. Let's continue with the video.
Seriously, what an incredible piece of history, not just to kind of know about, but to own a kit as well. Now, I've contemplated getting the damage fixed on the front plate, which is quite common for it to break, but part of me thinks, do you know what? I'd rather keep it as it is. So I think I'm going to have my damaged Super Famicom box here, and when I do get the keys to work, I'd very much like to acquire the additional cartridges so you can take them out. They're super easy to do and put additional games in here. There are of course lots of people out there that have modded these things, giving it a nice RGB mod and lots of various other things. For me personally, my plan is to get this recapped and make sure she is a-okay on the inside to just increase the lifespan of this gorgeous machine. I use a step down converter, but you can also get UK plug conversions, which is something I might do depending on how much of a tricky job and how expensive it is. But what I'd like to know from you is, have you ever heard of one of these? And what would you think if you had one of them in your collection as well? It is worth noting at this point that there is a Famicom box as well, and the keys, namely the front plate keys, are exactly the same. I also own the coin box key, like you guys saw earlier, but I don't own the coin box. I dare say that is even more obscure to try and find. But nonetheless, this is my little story of the Super Famicom Hotel Box. If you've enjoyed it and you love all things retro, you guys consider hitting subscribing. But for now, I'm off to play one of my favourite games of all times, Super Mario Kart. Cheers.